In September of 1939, word got to Britain of air raids from the Germans. This prompted British shelters and a blackout to happen. The blackout occurred every night to confuse the German raids. Londoners went underground to tube stations where they slept and they stored their belongings.
The Blitz went from September 7th, 1940 to May 1941.
The Blitz translates to the Lightning War
because it's a series of quick attacks. The Blitz consisted of 200 German bombers flying overhead London per night and bombed the city.
From September 7th, 1940, there were 57 consecutive days
of bombings.
After Germany occupied France, they wanted a neutral Britain so that they could have no interference. Especially during the Battle of Britain, Germany found that they could not defeat the British Royal Air Force.
Germany could not penetrate the British Royal Air Force's defenses, so they could not do a ground invasion.
At the end of the first Blitz day, 337 tons of bombs were dropped on London.
By the end of the first day of the Blitz, 448 civilians were killed in London.
Constant bombardment thereafter presented a looming threat for Britain.
This constant bombardment was a blow to morale for Britain.
43,000 civilians were killed over the 8 months.
The Germans tried to soften up Britain by targeting production and supply ports. Adolf Hitler was confident that over time, the working-class British citizens would go against the British leaders from his airstrikes causing so many problems.
In response to the RAF campaign in the Battle of Britain, when Britain bombed Berlin, Germany started to target civilians in Britain. The Germans bombed Coventry, a popular British city, on November 14, 1940. 500 Germans dropped 500 tons of explosives and 900 incendiary bombs on the city in 10 hours of consecutive bombing. Britain emulated this to a greater extent on a German city. In May of 1941, German raids on Britain slowed, and they directed the German war machine to Russia. Raids after 1941 happened sporadically still in Britain, including the Baedeker raids that happened in 1942, which targeted British historical locations.